Okay, so if you've played around with AI at all, you already know it's pretty incredible. But what if I told you we're on the brink of something way, way bigger? We're talking about a huge leap beyond the chatbots we're used to. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, something called Agentic AI workflows.
You know that feeling, right? You ask an AI to write, say, a blog post. And yeah, it spits out a decent first draft. But then you have to tell it to do the research. Then you have to prompt it again to edit it. And then again to optimize it for SEO. It's like you're micromanaging a super smart intern who just can't remember the next step. Well, that's the exact problem Agentic AI is built to fix.
So, what exactly is this big new idea? It's called the agentic workflow. And really, it's a totally different way for AI to think and solve problems. It's not just about getting a better final answer, it's about having a smarter process to get there.
Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, at its heart, an agentic workflow is basically software that can take a big, simple instruction like, hey, research this topic for me, and then all on its own, figure out all the little steps needed to get it done. The key thing here, the really crucial part, is that it manages that whole process by itself. No hand-holding required.
Now this image here, this is probably how you're used to using AI. It's what we call a zero-shot or non-agentic process. You give it one prompt, like write me an essay, and it just does it. It's a straight line from your question to its single answer. And don't get me wrong, that's powerful stuff, but it's kind of a one-and-done deal.
But the agentic workflow, that's a whole different ballgame. It's not a straight line. It's a loop. You give it that same goal, and what does it do? Well, maybe it starts with an outline. Then it hits the web to do some research. Then it writes a draft. And here's the magic part. It actually reviews its own work and revises it. It's this constant cycle of thinking, doing, and making things better.
Okay, so that sounds great, but how? How does an AI actually pull this off? How can it work in this kind of autonomous loop? Well, it all comes down to a few key skills, or design patterns as they're called, that let it think and act on its own.
There are basically three pillars that make this all work. First, you've got planning. This is where the AI takes your big goal and chops it up into smaller, bite-sized tasks. Second is tool use. This is huge. It's the AI's ability to actually use things, like searching the web or connecting to other apps through APIs. And finally, and this is probably the most important one, reflection.
Seriously, reflection is the absolute game changer here. It's the AI's ability to step back, look at what it just did, and ask, is this actually any good? It can literally critique itself. It can wonder, did that work? Or could this code be better? Or does my argument even make sense? And if the answer is no, it just tries something else. This is what takes it from being just a fancy tool to a genuine problem solver.
All right, so having one AI agent that can plan and fix its own mistakes, that's already a massive step forward, right? But what if we take it to the next level? What happens when you get a bunch of these specialized agents to work together like a real team? The whole idea here is specialization, just like in the real world. I mean, you wouldn't ask your product manager to write the code for your website, right? You build a team of specialists. It's the exact same logic for AI. If you have one AI trying to do everything, the research, the writing, the coding, it's probably going to do a so-so job at all of them. But if you create a team where each agent has one specific role, the quality of the final product just skyrockets.
And here's a perfect example of what that looks like. You've got one agent, the coder agent, and its job is just to write code. Then it hands that code over to a critic agent, and the critic's only job is to find problems, check for bugs, check the style, make sure it's efficient. The critic gives its feedback, and the coder goes back and makes it better. That right there is collaborative AI, in real time.
Okay, but any team needs a manager, right? Someone to keep everyone on track. In the AI world, that manager is a piece of software we call an orchestration framework. And its job is pretty much what you'd expect. Coordinate who does what, handle all the communication, and make sure the whole team is pulling in the same direction.
So, let's look at a few of these. First up is LangGraph. The best way to think of LangGraph is as a super organized project manager. It lays out all the tasks in a very structured flowchart. This is absolutely perfect for those really complex jobs where the AI needs to remember what happened in step 1 to do step 5 correctly. Think of something like a scientific research project, where every step has to build on the last one. Then there's AutoGen. If LangGraph is the project manager, AutoGen is more like a creative brainstorming meeting. It basically creates a chat room where all the AI agents can talk to each other, bounce ideas around, and debate things. As you can imagine, this is way better for creative or unpredictable stuff, like coming up with a brand new marketing campaign.
And rounding out our list is Crew AI. This one is probably the most relatable. It's set up just like a real-world corporate team. You actually assign roles to each agent. You're the researcher, you're the writer, you're the editor, with really clear responsibilities. This kind of structure is fantastic for predictable, assembly line-style jobs, like an automated system that cranks out blog posts.
So let's just recap for a second. We've gone from a single AI that can think for itself to entire teams of AIs that can work together. This isn't just some small technical update. This is a fundamental shift in how we're even going to think about and use artificial intelligence.
And if there's one thing you should take away from all this, it's this. We're shifting from using AI as a simple tool, like a calculator or a spell checker, to treating it like a collaborative workforce. We're moving toward a future where you can delegate an entire project to an AI team and trust it to manage itself all the way to the finish line.
Now, of course, we have to be real here. This is all super new, and there are definitely some big challenges to figure out. I mean, can you imagine a writer agent and an editor agent getting stuck arguing over the same sentence forever? Just stuck in a loop, burning through tons of money and computing power. Or what happens when two agents just can't agree? How do you resolve a conflict between a strategy agent and a finance agent? These are the kinds of tough problems that need solving before this stuff can really take over.
And all of this leads to the big final question, doesn't it? We've seen this clear path from simple, one-shot prompts to these incredibly complex, autonomous AI teams. So as this technology gets better and better, we really have to ask ourselves, when AI can build and manage its own teams, what does that mean for ours?